contracting are agreements with payers that grant market access under certain financial, performance, or service condition. They are also often called managed entry agreements or patient access schemes or risk-sharing agreements. With changes in the drug assessment methodology, there was a moment where people doubted about the longevity of innovative contracting. Nowadays, we have all evidence to say that innovative contracting is becoming an integral part of market access strategies. For example, in a recent survey, 89% of respondents see themselves using contracts in the future. Well, there are several factors playing a role here, but I would like to boil them down to three. Early stakeholder engagement, designing the appropriate contracting framework, and ensuring a successful local rollout. First of all, negotiation of agreements does not have to be conceived as a single event, but rather part of a broader payer engagement and relationship building program. This program starts by integrating payers' needs into clinical trial design, establishing differential pricing programs when possible, and also ends up by developing, for example, IT solutions to move from volume-based to value-based pricing. We definitely see a correlation between the type of uncertainty and the choice of agreement. Uncertainties around response, adherence, and in general real-life efficacy call for outcome-based agreements, like those based on response, or also free initiation programs or coverage with evidence development. Concerns on overprescription and in general affordability require more financial-based agreements, like capping and price volume agreement. Finally, when a service is considered of value for a disease, it can also become the object of a contract. I'm thinking, for example, of nurse services for multiple sclerosis patients. We observe that often it is a mix of the above that is finally implemented. Another factor to consider is continuous adjustment. There are at least three events that trigger adaptation: competitor market entry, loss of exclusivity, and in general payer reassessment. So once the global framework is defined and contracts have been shortlisted, there should be room left for local adjustments. There are in fact some country-specific preferences that need to be considered. Italy likes to mix capping agreements with performance-based agreements, while, for example, England prefers discounts that match the 30,000 per quality threshold. Another recommendation is to ensure the agreement is practical and manageable by stakeholders directly involved. We know that often the contracts are perceived as difficult to implement and very cumbersome from an administration point of view. Here, companies can really come in help by, for example, contributing to the cost of the registries needed to monitor outcomes, or proposing a web platform to manage refunds. Our Innovative Contracting Excellence program supports companies in all aspects mentioned above, with different approaches and methodologies. We start with qualitative interviews or multiple stakeholders deep dives to understand the needs of payers. The payer really appreciate these sessions because they have the chance to directly interface with physicians, policymakers, and sometimes even patients, using the patient journey as a common framework. We develop business cases that evaluate the feasibility and return on investment of different agreements for both the company and the payer. We also take care of the governance of the contract, clarifying roles and responsibility of global, regional, and local organizations. And finally, we support to enhance capabilities on the field with guidance documents and highly interactive training sessions that include simulation of negotiations with real payers.